Wrong.
I think what we can have a look at, Kate, is the eye. Looking at, whoopee.
Yeah, actually, I'm interested we start with this. I think that's a very brave move, actually, for you both this morning, because, I mean, the story's perhaps a bit of an aside. This is Whoopi Goldberg, well-known celebrity, who is looking to invest in a company that will use a form of medical marijuana in associated products to help deal with the pain given through periods. So these are lip balms and creams, etc., that will contain an approved amount of the substance to help deal with the pain. What I think is more interesting, perhaps, than Whoopi's business area around this, is that, you know, again, we've got the story about women's period pains, stories about conditions like endometriosis, sort of tucked away neatly here in today's newspapers. 90% of women in the UK struggle with pain, and 2 million women in the UK have a condition called endometriosis. And still it's a bit of a taboo, still it's something we don't like to speak about, still it's something we're all incredibly embarrassed about.
Well, it's anything to do with that area. I dare even say it in case it, I get tweets offended, but it does. Society as a whole shuts off and says.
There's a brilliant YouTube video which you must watch, in which they got a bunch of really healthy young men and strapped them up with some contraption that simulate period pains. It's absolutely hilarious, because they were crying like babies and screaming and rolling around in agony. And I just thought, maybe if more people understood what it's actually like, then it would be easier to make it a mainstream issue.
You can go down the male-female sex thing and say, if it was a male issue, a male challenge, would it be as taboo-like and ridden with challenges as it is today? But I think Stephen's right, you do face that concern. If I talk about this, if I mention this, am I going to be judged by it? Am I going to be almost embarrassed by it? And I know, working in business and having struggles with endometriosis, not wanting to raise it to my male counterparts because I thought it might make me look weaker or, more insignificant than them. But I think, again, the fact we've got this sort of story to again, oh yes, it's a period thing and it's lots and lots of pain. When we've got 90% of women in the UK, we've got to stand up and say, look, this is part of the reproduction element, this is part of life. We have to grow up about it. It's a very painful condition, and yet most women are having to pay huge amounts to get painkillers, hot water bottles, hot patches, just to deal with this.
And here's the question, do you think a marijuana-based pain relief product would help decrease the taboo? Because I can imagine it just being another source of stigma and kind of embarrassment for women coming to work.
I think that's exactly the point I'm making. It's almost like it's a little kind of aside, a little bit of a challenge and something else to kind of put it in a corner about.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that a lip balm's ever going to help with period pains. And what I think you're right about, if 90% of women are suffering with this, then we should start to speak about it intelligently. And maybe even some of the preventative measures that we can do in our lifestyle. I mean, we know that if you eat more fruit, vegetables, avoid more dairy products, you will have less of these symptoms. But we don't hear much about that at all.
Well, we don't, because the education's there to be had, but it's not out there.
What's interesting about this is it's calling it Whoopi's weed. Presumably, it's going to be cannabinoids, which is actually has no high effect or anything else. I mean, that is purely medicinal.
Absolutely, it's a pain relief, and we use cannabinoids in modern medicine today. But the fact that we now have a celebrity who's doing it on a more of a weed base, yes, it's more news, but I really do think we should start to try and find out the fundamental causes for the increase. It's actually increasing and getting worse. Why should that be?
I think it's just sad that it's still something that we all shudder when we talk about, and that you're going to probably get a load of challenges about for mentioning, but it needs to be done.
Maybe.
Let's grow up.